We're at the IAS meeting, and we're with Haidong Wang, who is Associate Professor, University of Washington, and you just completed a study, which, well, I'll let you explain it because it's quite comprehensive and complicated. But we're going to try to make it simple for our audience.
So the study itself generated estimates of incidence, prevalence, and mortality from HIV/AIDS for 195 countries between 1980 and 2015. It is part of the Global Burden Disease Study 2015 that provides similar estimates for over 300 disease injuries and risk factors.
So what you've learned here, it's important for us to know this information, us meaning the world.
Correct.
And especially those who are providing funds
yes.
for the services and the disease burden. And in the press conference, you had a lot of good, appropriate people in that to describe what the results of the study mean and how it translates into needs and challenges. And the perception of Peter Piot was quite profound. I was trying to get him to do an interview with me, but you might be able to relate a little bit about that, what he put into it, or took away from it, I should say.
Yeah, so the high-level message from our analysis shows that over the past 3 decades, we can divide that period into 3 phases. So between 1980 and 1997, we see increase in incidence, new infections of HIV and HIV mortality. And between 1997, which is the peak of the new infections globally, and 2005, we see decrease in new infections every year, but increase in mortality, where the number of people died from HIV peaked around 2005. And then after that, we see stagnation in terms of improvement in annual new infections. In fact, out of 195 countries in the last 10 decades, 102 of them actually have seen increase in annual new infections. Globally, we see about 2.5 million new infections annually between 2005 and 2015. So that means that to end HIV/AIDS by 2030, as part of the Sustainable Development Goals, more resources needs to be devoted to lower the new infections every year. Things are getting more complicated based on another analysis by my colleagues from the University of Washington, which his study basically shows that in the past 5 years, we have seen slowdown and even stagnation in the financial resources devoted to fight HIV.
But that's across the board. It seems like this is not just there.
True. And especially when you look at the numbers for 2014 and 2015, you see the decrease. So combining together the fact that there are new infections and the stagnation in new infections globally, and the slowdown in resources, especially financial resources devoted to fighting and curbing HIV/AIDS, it's going to be really challenging to achieve, the 1990 goals set by WHO and the UNAIDS, and to end HIV/AIDS in 15 years.
Can you show defined expense differentials because of the fact that they're not investing the money in? It will cost us more money down the line. I mean, this is not like somebody gets a disease and it's cured and they go away. This is a lifetime of treatment as we know it at this point.
Correct. So the cost is definitely one important factor when we consider how to achieve the ambitious goals set by the global community, either by 2020 or 2030. Unfortunately, looking at the cost is not a part of our current study, but I definitely agree that without lowering the cost of ARD treatment and without devoting more resources so that more people can get treatment when they are HIV positive. The one key metric I forgot to mention is that if we want to achieve the 1990 goals set by WHO and UNAIDS, in the next 5 years, we need to put over 15 million people on ART treatment. So that, combined with the slowdown in financial resources devoted to fighting HIV/AIDS, is going to be really challenging.
Because we know that treatment is prevention. So that would make the difference. That would improve the situation of more people are treated. Not only for their own good, but for the common good.
I mean, without putting most people who are HIV positive on ART treatment, we're going to see, prolonged stagnation in terms of new infections, and perhaps increase in mortality due to HIV in some countries.
Now, the study that you did is available on a disc, this little
Yes.
disc, but it's also, is it online or is it?
It is not yet. So this is
It will be.
part of the Global Burden of Disease 2015 study, where we are going to release all the data and even the codes associated with the data by the time all the GBD papers are published in September. And if you're interested, you can also look at past GBD studies. Our website, our institute actually has a really fantastic data visualization tool, which is online, can show you, incidence prevalence, the changes in incidence prevalence, mortality, and attributable risks as well, not just HIV, but for all the other diseases and injuries we study.
Really good. I mean, I appreciate the work you're doing. We can't ask for money unless we really can define why we're asking for money. And part of what you're doing is going to do that.
Yeah. So we basically provide the numbers that policymakers can use to make better decisions, such that in the long run we can actually eliminate HIV in this case specifically.
It's all a matter of numbers.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right. Of course.